What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite New York Jets subscription podcast, Badlands. I'm your host, Joe Caporoso, back with a game day 12 pack. Somehow we're back already with more picks for the Jets in week 3. I am going to share my final underdog pick right before kickoff in our Discord, on Patreon, and on Twitter. I'm recording this Wednesday night. It's dropping first thing Thursday morning. I want to wait till a little more action gets in there so I can spread my chips around. However, so far, we're 2-0 on win-loss predictions. Picked them to lose week 1, picked them to win week 2. Last week, we were correct about the spread. We were not correct about the spread in week 1, so 1-1 against the spread. As it stands right now, Jets are minus 6.5 in most places. I won't keep you waiting. I am picking the Jets to win and to cover the spread in this game. I think that while it was ugly at times against the Titans, they found a way to get it done, right? They took advantage of Will Levis's mistakes. Aaron Rodgers led drives for touchdowns when he needed to. The Jets defense got off the field when they needed to. And not perfect, but they won. They covered. And now they have their home opener with a chance to get to 2-1, exactly where most of us thought there would be, and have a 10-day break going into a game against Denver, who might be the worst team in the AFC. So it's a huge opportunity here. New England has been tough. They've been scrappy. I don't think anyone thinks that's surprising. I know it's still not the Belichick-Brady teams anymore. However, there is an infrastructure there. They go out, they upset the Bengals week 1. Bengals are always terrible early in the season. They're very tough against Seattle last week. They lose in overtime. The Patriots are banged up on their offensive line, which is already a bit of a weak spot. They are very one-dimensional on offense. Ramondre Stevenson, really good player, but is effectively their entire offense. As a runner, as a pass catcher, once it gets past him, you get a little Antonio Gibson mixed in. You get a little Hunter Henry mixed in as their top target. Even with the Jets being a little banged up, and it does sound like DJ Reed's going to play, it does sound like Michael Carter's going to play. Mosley game time decision. I don't think it's crazy to maybe give him the 10 days with how Sherwood's looked, get Mosley back at 100%. The Jets should be able to do a lot of what they did last week. Load up the box and let the quarterback beat you. Don't let Ramondre Stevenson beat you. Let him have 23 carries for 78 yards and make Jacoby Brissett beat you. Because so far what we've seen from Jacoby Brissett is he can, protect the ball. He can check it down a lot. He's going to throw for 150 yards, 130 yards a game. And if the Jets can get up 7-10 points in this one, New England is not built to come back with this group of pass catchers against the Jets secondary. I think in the home opener, unlike the other games, the Jets will get up in this one. I think they'll get up 7-0, 10-0. I think they'll be winning after the first quarter. I think they'll be winning after halftime. I think that's going to put New England in an uncomfortable spot. I think the Jets are going to win. I'm going to go with a final of, I'm going to go with 24-10. So they're going to win by double digits. They're going to cover the 6.5. They're going to score 3 touchdowns again on offense for the third week in a row. They'll hold New England to 1 touchdown or less, have them right around the 10-point mark. I think Rodgers, from a production standpoint, will throw for more yards in this game than he has in the previous 2 games. I think he'll get, up over 200. I don't think he'll have a turnover. I think he'll have another 2 touchdown passes. I think Brees runs another one in. I think Garrett Wilson catches his first touchdown of the season. And I think the third touchdown, I'll say it's a little bit of a grab bag. I would not hesitate to, throw some action on Braylon Allen. They're obviously going to keep him involved. I think he'll have 8 to 12 touches, and betting him on an anytime touchdown is not crazy at all. Brees is obviously always a safe bet there, but I'm looking for a Garrett Wilson receiving touchdown, a Brees Hall rushing touchdown, and this is the week they actually get Conklin involved and he has a receiving touchdown. Let's say he has 2 or 3 grabs. I also think we see a little more Malachi Corley on offense. Let's say he has 2 or 3 touches. Gibson's reps go from basically 6 to 0. We get a little less Ruckert, a little more Corley, and a lot of the 2-back set that has worked effectively for the Jets. Defensively, I think Quinnen Williams wakes up a little bit. Not that he's been bad, but I just think he's a little more active in a way that gets people excited. He gets on the board with his first sack of the season. I think Sherwood plays well in Mosley's absence. I think Sauce Gardner is involved in a turnover for the first time this season. Gets his hands on the ball, whether that leads to a tip interception for someone else or as an interception himself. I think Brissett will press a little bit when the Pats are down, and the Jets will be able to turn him over and win the turnover battle. Now, I don't think it's going to be perfect. I could see it being a little bit of a slow start, but I think the Jets will play ahead most of this game and ultimately settle into a 10 to 12 point victory. And we're going to leave these first three games, take a deep breath, and be like, it was a little ugly at times, but they're exactly where they're supposed to be. They'll be 9.5 point favorites against Denver at home in 10 days before they have the tough London trip. But they'll go into that Denver game at 2-1, which, if you look around the league right now and you look around the AFC, that's a pretty good spot to be. So it will be hard to complain if you're a Jet fan if they could win this game. And they need to win this game. I don't want to sugarcoat it. They have to win conference games like they did against Tennessee. They have to win division games. The AFC and the AFC East is going to be packed together. You need these wins. You need these tiebreakers. You cannot lose home games to Jacoby Brissett and this version of the Patriots. No excuses for Robert Saleh and the staff. Find a way to get it done. You have too much talent comparatively to this Patriots team to lose this game. You should win. You should cover. You should be able to set yourself up for early season success. You have to take advantage of this part of your schedule while you can when you're playing these types of quarterbacks. And look, they did it against Tennessee, and Levis is more of a high variance quarterback than Brissett. The lows are going to be much lower, but the highs are going to be higher. Brissett is not escaping that sack that Levis did and running for 18 yards. He's not throwing that bomb touchdown that Levis did and snuck by to Calvin Ridley. So in some ways that could play to the Jets' benefit. I think Rodgers is going to look that much more comfortable. I don't think we're going to see the clock management issues to the extent we did against Tennessee. I'm hoping the penalties are cleaned up a little because that's been driving all of us insane. But maybe I'm, foolish for doing this, but I was confident going into the Titans game, and I'm confident going into this game. So Jets win, Jets cover. Aaron Rodgers over 200 yards passing. I'd say even over like 210, 211 yards passing. Garrett Wilson, first receiving touchdown of the season. Breece Hall, anytime rushing touchdown. Braylon Allen, at least 35 total yards of offense. I would take Mike Williams over 1.5 or even over 2.5 receptions if you could get him anywhere. If you could get sack action defensively. Quinton and McDonald are the two guys to zero in on right now. I don't think we're going to see, obviously we're not going to see Hassan Reddick for the Patriots game. I'm not feeling overly optimistic we even see him for the Denver game because who the hell knows what's going on there. Outside of that, some of the Brissett passing unders I think could be reasonable. Brissett to have a turnover at any time I'd look at. I wouldn't necessarily be shy from the Ramondre overs because he's going to get so many touches. I could see him having 25 touches in this game and having 90, 95 total yards. If and when they get something going on offense, it's highly likely to run through him. And let's hope defensively the Jets are going to say, you know what, we're going to double Hunter Henry and we're going to load the box against Ramondre Stevenson. Make someone else beat us. Let Polk go beat Sauce one-on-one. Let somebody else get open from that esteemed group of Pats pass catchers and just find a way to get a win. I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow. It seems to rain at every single Jets home game. But let's hope for a crowd that is loud, is not anxious, can have some fun, enjoy a home game with Aaron Rodgers, and then get to run it back and do it again in 10 days. I'm not going to be in the building for this one. I will be in the building for Jets Bills, for Jets Colts, and I will be at Jets Patriots in New England with those same nice tickets I've gotten a few times for the game up there. But I'll be locked away, extremely anxious, yelling in the Discord or tweeting furiously, and ready with a post-game reaction with myself and with Connor. And the feud will continue to be loaded as it has been. So thank you everyone for following. Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure that you check on Discord, you check on Twitter, you check on the Patreon for our final underdog picks and some extra content that will hit throughout the day today. So we'll have you loaded up through pregame. So thank you everyone for listening. Let's get to 2-1, and we'll talk to you soon.